Hi friends, Mindy here. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am going to be sharing with you some more information about these paper packs that I have available. I've mentioned in the last couple of haul videos that I was going to be doing this, and I finally got my actual packs put together and posted. I have them posted on my Facebook group and also on Instagram. You can check the description of this video for links for both of those if you are interested in these packs. Eventually, I am going to have an easier way for you to get these, but I've had some questions about what's in the pack. I've also had someone reach out and ask about a custom pack, which I'm happy to do as long as I have the supplies. So don't hesitate to reach out to me if there's something that you see in here that you're just really interested in. So I'm going to start with Vintage Pack 3. And you're going to get this pack. It will be packaged with a little information sheet that tells you exactly what it's in this pack in order that I have it stacked so that you can kind of see what exactly you are getting out of here. So this first thing, again, this is Vintage Pack 3. The first page here is actually, these are mostly folios whenever possible. This first one is a 1728 French book. This was actually a book of sermons. And the reason this is so great is because the paper that they used back at this time when they were printing is just, it's different. And I don't know if you can kind of hear, it just has a different texture. It's very strong, which is why they still exist all of this time later. Again, 1728. So you're going to get a folio of this, which is this beautiful writing on it. You can see, and even I love this one because you can actually see some of the verse references in here because this was from a book of sermons. So cool. I have no idea what the French actually says, but I do know that this came from a French book. And one of the reasons why I wanted to do these packs kind of curated in this way is I have purchased other packs before from people that, and you end up getting, you know, a huge stack of maybe just some old book paper that really isn't, you know, you only maybe want to use a couple sheets of it anyway. You don't need a whole big huge stack of it. So I just feel like this is a good way to get a nice variety of a lot of different things that will really make your journals very interesting, or just, you know, having some fun different types of papers. So I tried to have different kind of ages of paper, different textures of paper, different patinas, different color, different, you know, so that it's a really interesting. So if you decided to try to make a journal, you'd have a really interesting paper pack to be able to do that with. So moving on, the next paper in here is from a New Standard Encyclopedia from 1931. So again, this is going to be a folio. And obviously all of these are going to be slightly different, as, you know, they're from different pages from a book. None of these are printables or anything like that. So this next page is from a 1919 cash book ledger page. So you can see the information. This is actually 1921 here. The dates are on here, 1923. Love this. So again, you're getting a little folio type ledger here. And the reason that I did this, I tried to keep these intact as much as possible so that if you wanted to kind of just reinforce the spine section of this, then you could do that and be able to put it in your journal like this without having to kind of fold it and turn it or whatever. Or if you still want to do that, then you end up with two sheets basically. So that's kind of why I did that. This next one is an antique German book. I don't have the date on this. I could not find the date anywhere in this book, but I really loved the font. I love the feel of the paper. I love the texture and like the patina on the edges. And I mean, the font is so good. I have no idea what it says, but I love it. So I personally really love foreign language books. I think I have said that before. I just think they add so much interest to these books. And so this next one is a German prayer book. This one, no, excuse me. This is the family prayer book from 1845. And so you have the some scriptures in here and just little family prayers in here. So I love this one as well. This one has just some aging that you can see from the paper, but it has a nice feel to it as well, because again, this is from 1845. This is kind of at the time where they started moving from rag paper into a pulp based paper. So I don't know that this is necessarily rag paper. It could very well be, but I don't want to say that if I don't actually know, but it does have such a great feel to it. So again, this is an 1845 prayer book page. This next one is from a German book as well. This one is from 1927. And I love that even though these are both German, you have just a little bit like the font is just a little bit different, and the texture of the paper is certainly different. This one is more porous. This has a more smooth texture to it, which I really love. So just another beautiful German page. This next one is actually a book on Martin Luther. And so this is, again, a German book. I love how this has the outline of around the text. I think it's just so beautiful to look at. So again, there's a little damage, you know, here on the spine from when it got pulled, but I did try to keep this. You could very easily just trim that down or reinforce that if you were interested. Not everyone is like that. Some of them came out a little bit easier. This next one is and not antique, but vintage. It's from a 1956 Broadman hymnal, so you're going to get a folio of that. Music paper is always something that I really love putting in my journals personally. Even if I'm covering up the words or whatever, I just like just a lot of texture and interest having a book paper in there. This one is from 1966, so again, not antique, but vintage. This is from a Vine's expository dictionary, and so this is a book page from that. And I liked this one because it's more like tall and skinny, and again left it intact, so that if you wanted to put this in your journal this way, you could. If you wanted it to just be a smaller page, you could certainly take it and fold it in half like that. Now there are some pages that were, you know, really tall and big, and so I did have to fold them. I tried to be very careful when I do that, as to not damage them. So this one is a 1946 Stephen Foster music page. This was like a book of the collections of songs that he had written. And so you have this page. It's just got a nice patina to it. I also really like pages like this that have kind of a wide open space down here. If you didn't want to use this whole page, you could take this section, stamp some like vintage looking stamps along the bottom, and then you have kind of created your own ephemera, which I have done, which is a lot of fun. So that one is, again, 1946. This next one is 1949, and these are historical statistics. And so this is a pretty big page again. So I did have to fold it, but I like all of this for just kind of the visual texture that they provide in a book. So you have all these tables of numbers, which again, I really enjoy that in there. So, and then the next page is actually the 1952 altitude tables. And again, you just have a folio of just numbers, but they just look so cool. And I love this book because it has those like cutouts for the different sections. And so I think that just makes the edges really interesting to work with. So that is this. And again, you get a folio of that as well. This next page is actually a book from Stockholm, Sweden. And so this is actually an encyclopedia. Again, it's just, I just do the font, the lettering. I don't know how well you can kind of see all of that, which I just think is just so cool. And this one, it's not glossy, but it's definitely very smooth paper. So it was really interesting as I was pulling these different books apart. And then some of them will have images and things in them as well, because it's an encyclopedia. So this next one is from the 1960s. It's just a large ledger. Ledgers are hard to find. This one does have some writing on it. Some of the pages will not have writing on them, but I did try to keep this intact as well. There's, probably can't see it. There's a perforation right here if you wanted to take this off and just kind of take off that edge, but I love that edge, and so I tried to leave that on there whenever possible. So there is a little bit of writing on that side, but it's blank on the back. And then this is another Swedish book. It's from 1913, and then you're back to that like kind of more porous paper. And again, you have those, big sections if you wanted to use those for stamping, but it's just a good texture of paper. It's a heavier weight paper as well, which is also good for a journal because you know that it's going to last. This is actually a French music book. This is from late 1800s, 1890. And so there you get a page of this in there as well. This is just a page instead of a folio because I don't have as many of these. to share. This book wasn't a super huge book, but since it was French, I just thought it was really cool. And again, I'm just a big fan of music paper, so that one's in there. And then we have another page that is vintage but not antique, which is this 1954 college typewriting book. So you're going to get a folio of that as well. And then this one is not the last, the second to the last, World Book Dictionary. So this is actually 1959. So again, it's not antique, but it is vintage. And I did try to leave the holes on here as well from the binding of this particular volume. And again, you will, you know, get some photographs just because, or some images just because that is the 1959 World Book Dictionary. And then this last one, this is also from a songbook that is just only had a few pages in it. And this is copyright in 1939. Is this particular song. This is actually a 1946 book. It was from a book called Songs We Sing. And so you have this, and then some of them have these really sweet like silhouette type images on them, which I just think is so cute. You could scan this and just reuse it if you wanted to, or shrink it down. Some of them have little kids or whatever. It's just super cute. Or even just, again, use those nice wide margins and create some vintage ephemera of your own. So I will probably do a video of kind of using some of these pages in some different ways. Let me know if that's something that you would be interested in. But again, this is Vintage Pack 3 and everything that is in it. And so I feel like there's a good mix of, you know, antique and vintage items, but also you can kind of see just looking at it, there's you know, different patinas, there's different textures, different styles of things, larger font, small font, you know, foreign language, all of the things. So again, this is the Vintage Pack 3. And then Vintage Pack 4 doesn't have quite as many pages in it. Just short a few. But again, you're going to get this same information sheet at the beginning that is going to tell you everything that's in here in order. So this first page is 1828 German book, but this is also rag paper, and you can kind of see the difference. You can kind of tell around, maybe if I can get it in camera, there's like speckling and stuff around here. So just so cool. And then again, just a beautiful, beautiful font. So I wish you could actually feel this paper because it's so great. The next book, this is from a smaller book. This is from 1890, called the Ewing Tales book. So you can get a folio from that. This one has some more aging to it. So just a darker patina. This page is from that 1942 Song and Service music page. This is that military music book. And so you'll get a page from that. Again, just a page, not a folio, because I don't have as many pages of it. Some of the music papers and the ledgers, and those are just harder to find. So this next page is from Smalley's Tables. This is 1951. This is just another kind of filler, I would say, in terms of just background texture. I love numbers, like I've said. And so these for me are just always a lot of fun. I just love these tables of numbers. I think they're so fun. Index pages, those kinds of things are just really good pages that you can put in your journals, because you can decorate over the top of them and not feel like you're, you know, losing something, create a nice little pocket, and then you still have, you know, just interesting things in the background, but they're not competing. So anyway, I love that it has the little thumb tabs on there as well. So this is, again, Smalley's Tables from 1951. This next one is 1968. So again, we're, you know, vintage and not antique, but this is the Field Guide to Wildflowers. Now you're getting 2 pages of this because I just could not get it out of the book as a folio, but I did want to include 2 pages because these drawings are so beautiful. So you get 2 pages of those, or, you know, the equivalent of a folio. This next page is from a 1908 modern arithmetic book, and I love this. This is another one that's the texture of the pages is just kind of, it's really nice and smooth. And I love, like, some of the story problems that I've looked at, like, actually reference, you know, time periods around this time. I don't see any on this particular page, but on some of the pages they will be like that. So and again, it's just a nice feel to that page. This one is from a 1941 date book. It was completely blank. And the style of this is so cool because you have different things. It was for a doctor. And so you have different information, you know, notify for examination or treatment. Just so cool. It was like, you know, his patient timetable, but none of the pages were filled out in it. And so I think this is so cool. It's like by hour, and then you have a page for every day. So I tried to pull out a folio for those as well. This next one, I have it listed on here as a tall, skinny ledger. I do not know the date of this because all of the pages of this ledger were blank. Again, I have to fold it because of just how tall it is, but to differentiate it between the other ledger page that's in this pack, we're calling this one the tall, skinny ledger. And again, I don't know the year, but ledger of any type, in my opinion, is fun. And this one is the large ledger. This one is from 1949. We can tell that from some of the entries. Most of the entries that have dates on them are already in packs. So depending on when you get a pack, you may get one of these that is, there's no information on there, just blank. Or if you would prefer blank, then you can let me know that as well. But this one is from the dated 1947. So this is around that time. But again, just had to double fold this one just so that it would fit in here. So we're calling that the 1949 ledger, but obviously there are dates around that time in there. And then 1940, this is from a book called The Hymnal, but this is just music page. And I loved this one because of the font of the titles. So and again, this is like that really thin, nice, smooth paper, just fun to use for a lot of things. These take paint and stuff sometimes really well. This is from a book. It's 1851. And it's just a collection of speeches and stuff, I think, from the man with the last name of Webster. And I really liked this one because of the age of it. So, and it's just got a nice patina around it. And so this one is 1851. Love this one as well. I love all of them. I'm just enjoying this process of finding some of these old books. This is one from 1947. This is actually from an Elks memorial. This one actually has a picture on this side. And again, just the text on this one. This would be another good one because of the texture of the paper. It's really textured. If you were not interested in using this, or you probably even could cut it down because it's such a big page, that you could use these borders along here for some stamping of your own to kind of create your own vintage looking labels and those kinds of things, because you would have actual vintage paper to do it on. So this next one is another music paper. This one is from 1938. It was from a little book called Playtime Music. And this one, again, I don't have enough. I don't have a lot of pages of this book. And so this is just a single sheet instead of a folio. This is another college typewriting one. This is from 1965. Just love the fonts on here and the different like alignment guides and everything. So this is really fun. And then we have a beautiful atlas in this one. This is from 1950. And I mentioned this in the unboxing if you saw this video. I love this atlas so much because the pages are not glossy and the colors are just those great vintage colors. And so there is one page of this in here as well. I love, love, love this one. And again, I had to fold it. I do apologize. I know I wish I could send them not folded, but this one is another Swedish book. This one is from 1931. So again, you have that amazing font in there, just with a different, you know, language. The writing of it looks so cool, in my opinion. You do have a little bit of like patina happening around the edges of this. And then again, just a really like thick, nice paper to work with in a journal. And then this one is from a college yearbook. This is from 1927. And again, this is going to be another one where I just don't have a lot of pages to share, but I did want to share them. And so this one has this information on a club on this side, and then you have an actual club photo on the back, and you can see the patina around the edge of these pages. Just so fun. I really love that yearbook. Just looking at their hairstyles and the styles of their glasses, and just, it was so much fun. And then like the advertisements that were at the back of that book were just really cool. So again, this is vintage pack 4. Both of these are available. I do have some packs of each of these, as well as this ginormous ledger. Let me pull it in here. So this is one of the first things I shared this back in February that I grabbed at an antique mall in Texas, and just these huge pages. So if you buy one of these packs, you can add on some of the ledger pages, or if you want just a pack of those ledgers, you can let me know that too. I do have some of those available still as well. And like I said, if there's something that you saw in here that you just really would like a pack of, or kind of a custom pack, whenever I can, I will try to accommodate that. Just leave me a message. You know, you can send me a message on Facebook. You can send me a message on Instagram. Again, all that information will be down below. I hope that you love these papers as much as I do. I'm very excited about them, and I wanted to get this video out because I have been mentioning these in a couple of my recent hauls, and so finally they are available. And so if you liked this video, I would really appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and until next time, bye.